When we die, we'll become part of the big Yarael Poof in the sky.
Honestly,
He is us, we are him.
There is no force. It's only Yarael Poof.
He is the force.
He lives in us. He lives around us. He influences
Yarael
us.
Poof is inside all of us.
I was trying to skirt around that, but nice.
Literally and figuratively.
Explicit tag.
Sometimes I do wonder what the aliens in Star Wars are working with.
Listen,
I do
we
too.
had this conversation before.
I think it's a good thing to wonder about, you know?
It's perfectly normal to want to explore your body.
Please.
Are any of them
Have to
mammalian?
put another explicit tag.
No, this is science. Are any of them mammalian? Do any of them nurse their children?
Yeah, I mean, they drink milk in Star Wars. I mean,
yeah.
there's Bantam milk. There are those things that Luke drinks out of.
Oh yeah, that's true. Those dinosaur cow things, yeah. That sit upright for some reason, like a man. And just make you more uncomfortable.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, boys.
What is this? Why
I'm
do I
sorry,
have Mario
boys.
on the screen?
Wait, what happened?
I don't know.
I sent a gif of Link and Mario kissing, and Mac left.
No, like, my chat just, dropped.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, I was looking.
I don't know what else to say about that.
I was looking for gifs, and there it was.
Was it in your recent searches, Elijah?
Don't
Is that
don't
how
worry.
you found it?
Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about
What
it.
is this devolved into?
I don't know. Are we
You
ready
said
to?
tangent episode. It's a tangent episode.
Are we ready to start?
I guess so, before
Yeah.
this gets any weirder.
I'm ready to start.
Hey, man, why does it say Mac is Poof on your board?
You were looking at your phone. He wrote that. Like, I just got back. And he was writing something. I was like, oh, what is that? Oh, nice.
That's hurtful.
I was waiting to see how long it would take.
I was really hoping it'd be like mid-podcast. You'd be like, wait, hold on.
Me too.
Elijah's.
Me too. I'm sorry, Mac.
We are all poop.
We're all Yarael Poof.
Exactly. Yeah, it says Mac is Poof, like Yarael Poof. It just, I spelled it weird.
And it just looks like it was written by a 4-year-old child.
Listen.
Don't insult the man's handwriting like that.
My handwriting essentially got better till I was 4 and then never changed.
Never changed.
I peaked at 4.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm gonna get this started now.
All wings report in. HouseDog, standing by.
Mother Goose, standing by.
Lowtech Tuck standing by.
Lock S foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Animal Squadron podcast. It's me, HouseDog, and along with me today are my two very best friends that have been holding it down on the podcast lately, Mother Goose and the one and only Lowtech Tuck.
Hello, everybody.
Man, I get an extra title this week? Sweet. The one and only. I like the way that
Hell yeah.
sounds. I'm going on a power trip, fellas. It's going to my
This
head
is
immediately.
Tucker's podcast now.
I mean, it could be, but if we left him, how would he post it, edit it, or anything?
Listen.
That is
Listen,
true.
I think you can figure it out.
I mean, low tech is in the name. Oh, it would be just horrible. It would be like just everyone's recording on like AirPods basically with like fans in the background, and it'd be really loud and chaotic.
I think you'd find an audience.
And there'd be no cuts. Like it would just be like lots of silent, weird parts, lots of pregnant pauses.
It's like being like, wait, can we take that again? And then doing it over and then just leaving it in there.
Oh, the whole audience would have to hear me go, all right, guys, I gotta pee. And then, like, go over to my bathroom that's right next to my recording studio. And then, like, just in the background, just barely, they can hear me pee. Like, it'd be really awkward.
All right. I've been gone for a while. I forgot how this show goes,
Welcome back.
Chaos.
Yeah. No, you guys have been holding it down, doing a great job.
Thank you.
There's
Thanks,
been some
man.
great episodes.
Yeah.
All of our episodes that I've listened to while I've been gone have got me thinking. And, y'all have explored a lot of information. I just wanted to come on today and have a good old tangent, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
There's been a lot of stuff happening in Star Wars. A lot of new stuff out there. And I just wanted to talk about whatever.
All right.
And sorry if there's
yeah.
a loud noise. The landscapers are here.
Shame.
So they're mowing.
You're good.
Right outside the window.
I can hear
Yeah,
nothing.
I can't either.
You're good.
But also,
I could hear it through my headphones.
Shame.
So I
banned.
was like,
Banned.
oh,
Shame.
they can probably hear this.
Me with all my fans, I'm like, yeah, shame.
This is going to be so much fun for Elijah to edit. He's got lawn mowing in the background on my end, fans in yours.
Yeah.
And I'm still a little covered in soda. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a
And
day.
Elijah had a wild night. He was popping soda bottles and hasn't showered
That's right.
from the club, from Chuck E. Cheese.
Sitting up and playing Diablo till 3 a.m. Yeah. Got real crazy.
Tomorrow he's gonna find those Chuck E. Cheese tokens in his jeans that he forgot about.
I will spin them one day. Also, HouseDog, my man, Star Wars. First thing that comes to mind. Go.
Yarael Poof.
Yarael Poof.
Yarael Poof.
The greatest Jedi of all time.
Everyone's favorite long neck dude.
We all talk about Yarael Poof, but none of us know anything about him.
I did some light reading
He's
on
sick as hell. I know that. And I think that's enough.
Dude, alright, so actually, quick Yarael Poof fact. Did you know that he has 2 additional arms that he hides under his robes?
What?
Isn't that
Hell
terrifying?
yeah.
He really has 2 additional arms. Look it up. He's got
Hell
4
yeah.
arms, and only 2 of them stick out of his cloak. So at all times, he's just like, this guy's little arms in here like this.
Is he praying the whole time? Just
I was thinking more because it's cramped in there, and he just didn't have another choice.
Because everybody praying on Yarael Poof's downfall.
That's right. Oh,
Yarael Poof, the one Christian confirmed.
Christian Jedi.
We're getting dangerously close to blasphemy.
I'm playing Cult of the Lamb right now, and I named my cult Jesus Crust. So, I think I've already passed that line.
Hey, man, God has a sense of humor. He's got a sense of humor for sure. It's all good.
Tuck, do you have any more Yarael Poof facts for us?
The man has 2 brains, one in the top of his head and the other one in his chest cavity.
Okay.
Like,
Whenever you say you did light
No, this-
research, it doesn't sound like you just did light research, like you were gonna have a fact. I thought I was gonna ask you if you had another one, and you're gonna be like, no, that's all I read about him.
No, I read some on our boy. I mean, really what I did is I pulled up the Wikipedia article last night and I just read it.
Wait, so why were you just randomly reading about Yarael Poof in your spare time?
because you said we were gonna talk about Yarael Poof
Yeah,
today.
I was trying to get
Don't
ready.
give him crap.
Oh.
You
Don't
wanted
gaslight me.
this.
I forgot about that. I forgot that I said that.
Yeah. Oh, actually, one thing I did learn is, from the the first Clone Wars, the Samurai Jack guys Clone Wars, that one.
The 2D micro series.
Yeah, the I think they're called Ethor. It's those guys that are kind of have the head of a hammerhead shark, and they're humanoid. Let me see if I can just pull one up in the chat here for you boys. 1 second.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'm very lost.
These fools.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's one in
yeah.
in the 2D series.
Yeah, that's a Jedi.
And he's got a name. Yeah. And it turns out Yarael Poof's actually his master. And that's canon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that the one that screams really loud?
Yes, that's his force
Does he have a
ability.
blue lightsaber? Yeah, Force Scream, yeah.
Wait,
Nice.
so is he a Sith?
Yep.
Was that a Sith scream? Yarael Poof.
Also, is there a light side
Yarael
screen?
Poof is actually a Sith Lord confirmed?
Okay, we do know he's a Quarmine. How do we pronounce this?
That
boys?
sounds right.
I guess, yeah. I'll believe it.
All right, Quarmine confirmed.
Yep. So not a Kaminoan as we thought. Also, he doesn't have
I
hooves,
told you guys he wasn't
so he can't be a
Kaminoan.
Kaminoan. Yeah. I know, and also, if
Yeah.
you look at his face, like, if you really look at his face, he doesn't look like one at all.
Listen,
But
humans don't look exactly alike.
it's true.
Yeah, but all the Kaminoans we've ever seen look the same.
That's true.
Twi'leks have different ears based on what gender they are.
Cool.
Okay.
There could be differences.
Which, by the way, have you guys seen that still of Hera? Of live action Hera?
Yeah.
Which one?
I mean,
The one that's going to be in Ahsoka.
he meant which photo?
Yes, but like,
Oh, there's multiple. I didn't know that.
I don't know. I just saw
Well, she's
one the
been
other
in-
day, and it didn't look that bad.
I thought she looked good.
yeah, I personally haven't had any complaints about it, but I think we'll also have to wait and see when it actually like comes out fully.
Yeah, what? Ahsoka
Yeah.
drops the 27th of August, I think?
Yeah, sometime around there.
So coming up really quick. It's been a little bit of time since you guys talked about the new Jedi game. Elijah, you were replaying it, right? And Tuck, you were like halfway through it?
Yep.
I was trying to 100% it, and then I got really bored. Not that the game's bad. I love the game. It's more just, I know a lot of people love 100%ing games, but I just can't. It gets really tedious after a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, I got to be real with you guys. Got to confess something. I haven't finished it yet.
I haven't even played it
Shame.
yet. So.
Banned. Shame. Banned.
Look, no, this is good. We have all different
A full spectrum.
full spectrum of viewpoints here. I played 0% of the game.
Well-
Tucker played half of it, and Elijah played all of it.
You know, I thought it was really weird when they brought Captain America in. It's kind of a strange twist, you guys.
Hey, no spoilers! No spoilers!
Dang it! I thought he was a DLC character only.
Now, Mac, we might as well never play it. Elijah ruined
There we
it for
go.
us.
I never have to
Honestly,
pick it up
yeah.
because Elijah ruined it.
It was not worth the experience. But I really do think it's a better game than Fallen Order. It really just improves on everything that Fallen Order did, from the areas to the combat to the enemies to the story to the the graphics did look better, but you know, they had some pretty big issues at launch, but it is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I agree with that. I really enjoyed it.
every major title these days has like massive problems at launch because they just want to release the game because they tease it like a year before it's even ready, and they'll show you test gameplay footage of it, and then it's another year before the game even comes out, and the game's not even ready whenever they release the trailer. So
Yeah, that's true. And also in these days of corporations like being owned by lawyers and shareholders and stuff, there's a lot more pressure to just get the game out rather than care about quality control at the start.
And there was also like, this wasn't a problem with Fallen Order as far as I know, but like certain countries will fund games like, hey, produce a game in our country, you know. I think it's like a tax thing or something.
Mhm.
And then now these game devs have pressure not only from fans, but also from the literal government they're in to put the game out.
Right.
yeah,
But, I mean, no matter what, though, it just doesn't really go too well with having a game be perfect on launch.
yeah. I mean, no game's ever going to be
Yeah.
perfect on launch, but I feel like it's become more of a thing lately that like you just release a game and it has these massive like either, you know, crashes or glitches where you're trying to complete a mission and you can't complete it because like you're walking through half the map underneath it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and
I
also...
think-
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, no, just on that, I think in terms of crashes, for me, it was maybe like 3 or 4 times in like 50 or 60 hours. So
That's not
it
that
was
bad.
annoying, but it wasn't like excessive. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, Lowtech. I don't know much about the graphics in these newfangled vidya games, but I really didn't think that the glitches were that bad. I think for me, my experience was I saw like a couple times where Cal's outfit would just start moving all of a sudden, or like his hair would start or like just weird graphic stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't anything like too bad, and I think it did crash once maybe, but nothing major. I wouldn't say.
And you guys both played on
Yeah.
PC?
Yes.
I played on my Xbox Series
Mm.
X, which I heard the PC version was the main issue. So I'm glad that it didn't give you too much trouble, Tuck.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Now, I mean, also I bought a computer like a year ago, so it's not like my PC's like old. I'm sure if I had an older one, it probably would have been worse. But
Now that we talked about Jedi, Outlaws is coming up.
That's what I was going to change the subject to. Tuck and I have talked about it. What do you think, Mac?
I've still yet to watch the trailers that you guys talked about. I've seen some. I saw like one whenever it first dropped, like that really short one, that like 15-second one.
Oh yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
a while ago. And
Yeah, did you see the TikTok too? Like months ago? Like
I
teasing
think
it?
so. I haven't seen like the gameplay
Yeah.
that you guys were talking about in the episode that you reviewed it on, which bravo for watching a trailer and spending an hour talking about it.
There
Yeah.
was a lot to talk about.
And also, like, for context, too, I'd only watched one of them, like, right before we recorded, and Elijah was like, hey, did you watch the 10-minute gameplay trailer? And I was like, no. And we literally stopped recording, and I watched it right there and then we proceeded to talk about it for an hour.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of stuff in there that's going to be really cool. I remember Elijah and I were texting whenever I first got back, and he was asking me about it, and I think I had seen it then. Like a really
Gotcha.
short, but I don't think the 10-minute game trailer was out then.
Yeah.
But we were talking about it, and one of the only things that I have, like, concern-wise, is making sure that the ground to air is, like, seamless. Because, I mean, you think of games, Tuck, you mentioned it, like No Man's Sky,
Mhm.
where, you know, they marketed that as a ground to air, like, seamless transition, and it kind of is, but
Yeah.
not as amazing as you think it would be.
Well, yeah, it's very close, is how I'd describe it.
Yeah, like you're in
Yeah,
orbit
yeah.
and then you're, you know, going through light speed like as fast as you can to get to the planet's surface, and you kind of just break the atmosphere and then it's just planet. Like there's really no, I don't know.
Mhm.
But it must be so hard to capture going from ground to air or air to ground. Like who am I to judge?
Yeah.
I've never worked on a video game. It's got to be hard, but as long as that looks really good and there's a little bit more to it in this game, I think I'll be happy.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'd be happy if they just pretty much copied No Man's Sky as far as, like, the ground-to-air transition. I mean, I think it looks fine enough. Now, it'd be mind-blowing if it was better, but
Yes, for sure.
I'd be happy with it if it was basically the same.
And I like that you get to decide whenever you go into hyperspace.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I think that's going to be cool.
Yeah, that seems.
I don't know how they're going to do, like, selecting where you're going in hyperspace, or if it's going to be like, okay, you get to the area in space where you can go into hyperspace, you click your hyperspace button, and then it pulls up like a map, and you select where you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm really
we
hoping
really-
they do a galaxy map kind of thing.
Yeah, we didn't get to see anything like that in the trailer, and so it may not. It may just take you where you need to go next, but I'm hoping that they just essentially cut it out to save time.
Yeah, well, I mean, with so many choices that you have and stuff, I mean, how would the game know where you need to go next? Like, let's
Yeah.
say you're playing like 6 missions at once, which I don't think will be impossible at all. Like, will the game choose for you, or will you get to choose? I mean, I would think you'll get to choose. But
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
there's a couple different
Yeah.
ways they could handle that. Like, Tuck, I think you're right. You're supposed to be able to, like have 6 missions in your queue or whatever. And then how they may do it is you track that, kind of like in Skyrim where you track a quest, even though you've got like 60 quests in your inventory or whatever, and you just track one. And then it just had like, okay, it's in this area, in like Markarth or whatever. And you need to talk to whoever.
So it just jumps you there.
And maybe you just select that mission that you're doing, go up into space, hit your hyperspace button, and it takes you to that planet or that area in space where you need to go to. Or they could do it like I mentioned, where you go up into space, you click your hyperspace button, and now you have a galaxy map. And that's how they're going to do the jumps. Because, you got to think about all the like loading screens and stuff, and that's kind of the way that they combat it, is using like a galaxy map system or a loading screen.
Or using you flying through hyperspace as the loading screen.
Yeah.
Which like again, like No Man's Sky does that, Destiny does that. Y'all have ever played Destiny?
A little bit, yeah.
And I like that. I mean, I think that's an attractive way to do it, like a very eye appealing way to do it.
One thing I would really like, and maybe it was in the gameplay trailer and I didn't see it, but like, let's say you're going to a quest and you're going through hyperspace, and in a previous mission you lost standing with like the Pikes or somebody, and like let's say the area of space you're going through is like a Pike controlled part of space for the mission you need to go to, and as soon as you get out of hyperspace there's like a Pike warship there like waiting for you, and now you've either got to decide like okay, do I like try to sneak in to the planet and try to get past the blockade that way, or do I just like go through the blockade with force?
Or do I try to get on their ship and try to make a deal with them, or like stuff like that.
So
I think that'd be cool.
I think that'd be cool if they did that in the game, because there is a reputation in this, right? Like you have standing with different gangsters,
Factions. Yeah.
So I think that would be cool to see.
Yeah, I agree. We know for sure the Empire and the Pikes. We can assume the Hutts because we do see them in the cinematic trailer. Also, I didn't notice until after we recorded our episode, there's a quick shot of Han Solo and Carbonite.
Really?
Oh, is that? Oh, wait, is it that one where he's like
laying down,
and they're loading him into Slave One, kind of? Yeah. And then isn't Jabba there too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it's Jabba, and then it cuts to Han. So I'm assuming it's the same scene, but I can't say for sure.
Yeah, I got you.
So we have a time period, and
they actually announced it.
Exact time period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Which is an area we don't really know much about. Maybe we'll find out about all the Bothans that died.
Let it go.
Yep.
I
will not. Their story deserves to be told.
Another thing you guys talked about that I thought was really interesting was the idea that you guys had about like gun mods and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And before I knew that we had an exact time period, I was really hoping, like we're this smuggler, like anti-hero or whatever. You can be who you want to be, I guess. You can, do more bad stuff or do more good or whatever with the reputation thing, just like in Red Dead. But I was hoping, I really want a Star Wars game that utilizes the prior weapons from previous eras. Like maybe I find a cache of weapons and in there's a DC-17, pistol, and I can run around the galaxy with the DC-17.
Yeah. Well, and honestly,
that would be nice.
After looking at this game, I don't think that that's impossible. Again, time will tell what they'll do, but like I was telling Elijah on that episode, like in real life, people reuse things. Like, for instance, there's crates in the Middle East where the U.S. military has found stuff from World War II and before over there. Like it's not out of the realm of possibility at all that someone who's a smuggler in the Star Wars universe would find Clone Wars era weapons. I mean, I think that's perfectly possible.
I mean, we know Indy 5's going to be in there, so I mean, there's definitely going to be at least that connection to the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Well, and also, I don't know. I mean, with him being indie, I really hope they do more with that. Like, I hope you can, I don't know, like maybe he carries a, what's that pistol that Rex carries?
A DC-17.
DC-17, thank you.
And a
like
whip.
I
A
hope
whip.
maybe
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
what I
scene
was
of someone
thinking
like
about.
swinging like a lightsaber and then he just shoots him, just like Indiana Jones. Yeah. That'd be
That
No,
would
I
awesome.
be
just
nice.
want him to have a whip.
I
a
agree.
light whip only.
Oh, that'd be cool. Make that canon. That'd be awesome.
Light whips are canon.
Yes.
Oh, are
They
they?
have been. They were in Clone Wars during the Zagarian episodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Tuck was talking about like the full like lightsaber whips
Oh.
though that we see in
Mhm.
EU, right, Tuck?
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
talking
Yeah.
about. But
I mean,
like the ones that'll like just chop right through a dude.
Oh.
Like,
I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about like light whips.
I
was
do-
like, those have been in for a while, man.
I think
talking
I've
about
heard
both.
rumors that we are getting them in canon eventually.
yeah. Well, I could see it in like the early Republic movie that's gonna come out.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make a lot of sense to throw that in there because that's when we see them in the EU as early.
The only-
When they're all experimenting with stuff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it'd be really cool if you could have different weapons from different eras in this game. But I also think, and you guys brought it up during that episode about Outlaws, is what I think is the more rational thing that they'll probably do is you'll be running around with like a DL-44, which is Han's pistol that's customizable. I think that's more the route they're
Yeah.
going to go to, and you'll be able
Yeah.
to purchase, different upgrades that fit how your playstyle wants to go. Like maybe you have a flamethrower attachment or, whatever for your pistol, and you just use your D-pad to select which one you want.
Well, we know that you can
Pick
that
stuff
Nyx
up.
can like go grab other people's weapons. So I'm assuming you'll be able to hold on to the weapons that it steals for you.
So you can pick up enemy weapons after they die.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your little like cute assistant axolotl thing can go pick them up for you.
Yeah, I did see some of that gameplay where you can like tell him to like go jump on a wall or go attack like a guard or something. So
Yeah.
that'll be cool. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in this game. It sounds like that. I think this will either be a really fun game, or there's just so many ideas and things in it that it'll kind of be too much.
That's a possibility.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because there's a lot of different
Yeah.
elements in this game that they're using from like a ton of different games. There's like some Assassin's Creed stuff in it. There's Red Dead Redemption 2 stuff in it with the reputation system and picking up the weapons. You can do that in Red Dead. You can pick up rifles and stuff that you find on the ground from NPCs, enemy NPCs, as well as, like you can keep that weapon and customize it if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a game that people play. Like, I love the Jedi games. Fallen Order and Survivor are two of my favorite games. But I think Outlaws is going to be a game that people play a lot longer than they do. You play through Fallen Order or Survivor once or twice, and you feel content. But I think there's just so many possibilities. The replayability for this game is going to be there.
Well, one of the devs, I saw an interview like on TikTok or something, and he was talking about it, and the game is like really loose as far as like what you want to do. Like you might land at an outpost and you get this mission just because you interacted with somebody. So it's kind of like a Skyrim type deal where you walked into a city, you talked to this one guy, and all of a sudden you're on a quest.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to play like that as well.
Which I really like those kind of games. Actually, right now I'm playing through Far Cry 5, and it's a lot like that too, where like you take a base and then all of a sudden you talk to this random dude and he's like, "Oh, hey, I need you to do this or that," and then you're on a quest next.
Yeah,
thing
I
you know.
think-
And I like that though. It's fun.
Yeah, I think we'll have, like Far
Yeah.
Cry or Fallout or, Skyrim, which are all made by the same studio, style gameplay where you have overarching missions. Like I'm sure you'll have like, hut missions that are, story based
yes.
and Empire missions that are story based, and then whenever you land on this outpost on, Jeddah or whatever, you have these missions that are specific to Jeddah.
So it'll be yes, there probably will be planet specific ones, but faction wise it'll be dependent on your standings with them. So like if you have a really bad standing with the Hutts, then they're not giving you missions.
Yeah. I kind of hope they hunt you, though. I think that'd be a fun mechanic, too.
It'd be a cool
I
way.
know for sure there's the Empire Wanted mechanic.
And, different, historic bounty hunters get sent after you. Like, if you made the Hutts mad, like, Boba Fett would come after you, and you would have to, find a way to escape him. Because, obviously you can't... Well, maybe you could kill him. Because, this game doesn't have to be canon.
That is true.
Yeah, maybe it's a... Force Unleashed kind of deal.
Yeah, and that'd be another cool aspect of where there's a bounty hunter list, and you take down all the bounty hunters that come after you, and now you're whichever you start off with a really low tier bounty hunter, like that guy from Mandalorian that tried to double cross him in the first season, that. That's the first guy that comes after you, and then number one is Boba Fett, Dengar, Bossk, Forlom, Zuckuss, IG-88, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cool game, man.
HouseDog, what else you got?
Last thing video game wise is, and there's not much on it, but I thought it got canceled because it hasn't been talked about, and then again, a TikTok or something popped up, and I guess it's still happening, is that open world RPG Star Wars that we heard about forever ago. And it had that really weird trailer with it where there are these warriors or acolytes or whatever they are, beating these drums and stuff. Is this ringing any bells for you, Tuck?
No, not
and
at
it
all.
has super beautiful landscapes and these planet shots and different characters. It got announced 2 years ago, right, Elijah?
Yeah, or a year or 2 years ago. Yeah. It's by Quantum Dream. Yeah, as far as I know, it looks like it's still coming. We just don't know when it's actually going to be here, which... this was just a cinematic trailer, so, it could be another 5 years before we see it.
Yeah, it could be Skyrim 2, where it's always coming,
Yeah. I think, Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk 2077, the initial trailer was in 2013, and we didn't see the game till 2021, so 8 years.
And even then, that game...
It's still pretty bad.
It was a fun game. I played it.
lot.
I never beat it because I just got tired of the bugs.
Yeah.
But no, an open world Star Wars is something that I think could be really fun.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get some of that with Outlaws.
Yeah, and I think we get some of it too with Jedi Survivor too. You get you get a taste of it anyway. There's plenty to do in Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
I think Outlaws is going to expand upon that. And then this new game that we've been talking about is, I think, set during the High Republic, right, Elijah?
I think so. It's either set during the High Republic or maybe between the High Republic and where we find it during the prequels. But yeah, we really don't know much. It's open world. It's in space. There are guys that play the drums.
Yeah.
Alien guys that play the drums.
Yeah.
Well, I think we know it's High Republic based upon those shots. And again, these are just, it was just a cinematic trailer, but the ships in there are they look like High Republic
older
ships. They don't look like anything from the Clone Wars era or the Empire era.
Yeah.
They look old.
Who knows? Maybe the Eclipse is just a scapegoat, and I was gonna say maybe they're giving us Knights of the Old Republic, but we already know they're remaking it. Or, well, actually, I think
they were going to, but they canceled it.
Yeah, that just got canceled recently.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm not mad about it. That's not a sore subject.
All right, Elijah, stop talking about it.
Anyway,
You're gonna make Tucker cry. Quit it.
moving on from video games, Mac, what else do you have?
What have you guys been? Have you guys been watching any Star Wars lately?
I've been inching through Rebels.
Again?
Nice.
I'm trying, man. I'm really trying. I'm trying to get it before Ahsoka.
Where are you right now?
I say inching like I just started season 2. Like I'm inching. I'm getting there. I'm watching as much as I can, and then I'm like, I want to watch something else, and then I'm watching as much as I can, and then I'm watching something else. That's how I'm rolling right now. I'm trying to finish it before August, though.
It's gonna get you. You're gonna hit a point in season 3 where it's gonna click.
Oh yeah, well, and also to be fair, the reason that it's going so slow is it's stuff that I've seen before. Also,
Gotcha.
So I'm like watching it.
So you completely restarted.
Again. Well, yeah, because I felt like I had to because it had been years since I started it. So I was like, well, I don't want to forget anything, but
yeah,
I might just start season 3.
Rebels is so easy to run through. It's only 4 seasons.
I know.
You're only 4 seasons.
I know. It's just like I felt like Clone Wars was so much more exciting.
It wasn't. I've been rewatching Clone Wars like slowly, and I say slowly. I'm already in season 5, but this has been like over the course of like a month and a half too.
Yeah, but I feel like it's because Clone Wars is addicting.
It is.
Whereas, like, I don't really feel like Rebels is addicting.
But like,
that,
if an episode comes up and I'm like, okay, I remember this episode, and it's a nothing episode, I just skip it, and I go to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Valid. Talking about Clone Wars, you'd be very proud of me. I finally finished it, watched through the whole thing.
It's excellent, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really
Except
good.
for the season 6. Where it's the 13 random episodes that we got.
I liked season 6.
What you're saying, like with Yoda and the what are they called? Yeah, the Wills.
Yeah.
I thought that season was
an
great.
interesting look.
I thought it was awesome. I liked that a lot, actually.
I mean, whenever it was the last Clone Wars that we had, yeah, it was great. But then we got season 7.
Well, yeah, but also, I mean,
that
at the
doesn't mean it's
time,
not good.
at the time though, Netflix had bought Clone Wars and made it as being it.
Yeah.
And then Disney bought Star Wars and made season 7. So, I mean, give them a break.
I will admit, I knew about the whole, like, arc where they, one of the clones was trying to find out about the chips in their heads.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that, like, the Jedi found out about it.
Yeah, and
I
they
thought
still
they
ignored
stopped
it.
him. And
They still ignored it.
Oh, it makes me so angry because there was something else too, like the Jedi just keep finding out more and more about like what's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like the whole narrative that the Jedi were prideful and didn't see it coming but this just felt a little excessive on how much they actually did know and didn't act upon.
This is how democracy dies, with thunderous applause.
This is how democracy dies. Yeah.
Quoting Max
the
Girl.
only thing that like one of the things that bothers me in Clone Wars is whenever they revoiced Palpatine in like the last season with that one guy that's dead now. He was the hotel manager in Home Alone 2. Tim Curry.
Oh,
Tim
okay.
Curry. It finally came to me. I just had to think of things. I did not like Tim Curry as Palpatine. That voice just did not work for me.
Fair enough. I don't know.
I didn't even notice.
I didn't notice either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you should go look it up. It's a pretty stark contrast.
I will.
I will if I remember.
Well,
Yeah, sorry. I'm looking through some of the episodes, just through season 6 because you brought it up. I liked season 6. I think it was a good batch of episodes.
well, that one where Yoda like fights Palpatine in that like Sith dream magic thing, and like Anakin's there and like he's fighting for Anakin, and he like almost figures out who Palpatine is because he's like fighting him with a cloak on. And then, like, he doesn't see it, like...
Yeah, but that's just really good story.
Yeah, no,
building,
I said I
feel
like that episode.
Yeah.
That one was cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you
Listen.
were critiquing it. I was like, dude, that's kind of the whole point. Like, but okay,
Dooku specifically tells him, the Sith is in charge of the Senate. And Yoda saw that was an old white man, and there's an old white man in charge of the Senate.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, another thing y'all brought up. I don't remember what episode I was listening to, but it was one of the episode you guys did, and you talked about Sifo Dyas. And for the life of me, I know there's a Clone Wars episode where they find Sifo Dyas, and the Pikes have had him the whole time under Dooku's orders. But during my watch through of Clone Wars, I haven't found that episode yet, and I don't know where it was.
dude, that happens to me too. Like sometimes Clone Wars episodes just go into the abyss, and I can't find them again, and then I'll find them again.
It's in season 6. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but also, but isn't it revealed too that that's not Sifo Dyas, that's someone else?
No,
They just thought it was what?
That's the new site. That is Sifo Dyas. Originally, I think we've talked about this before. Sifo Dyas was just a play on Sidious.
Yeah.
And then Dave Filoni came in and actually, I don't know. I think George still working on Clone Wars at that point? Because sorry. I have a lot of feelings about Clone Wars right now because a lot of people trash on George and say Dave Filoni saved Star Wars, but George Lucas played such a big hand in the Clone Wars. He was the executive producer for most of it.
I think the original 5 seasons that were on TV, every single one.
Yeah. He worked on a lot of the episodes. Dave Filoni specifically got episodes from George. He'd say, "Here, this is what I want. Make it happen."
Well, they'd talk about
the
basis of Star Wars a lot, and there were episodes that we later got to see the early work for, the one where he was trying to bring. Dave was trying to bring, I think Darth Bane back. Or it wasn't Bane. He wasn't trying to bring... Oh, it was Bane in that one guy. The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian Jedi.
See, Bane... Oh, yes. They do make references. You're talking about Darth Revan.
Yeah,
sorry.
There we go. He was going to bring Revan and Bane into an episode, and Anakin was going to talk to Revan and Bane.
Well, so Bane is in an episode.
Yeah. In season 6.
Yeah.
And I think it might be, it's for sure Revan, but I think it's another EU Sith. Let me see if I can find it.
But yeah, there was early pre-production work of this episode in Filoni had come up with the whole episode. They had started working on the early 3D imaging of it and everything. There's a video of it floating around on YouTube. They finally released it a while back. But he and George were talking about it, and after talking about it, Dave kind of realized he was I can't do this. As cool as it would be, I can't do this because it would interrupt and go against how the Force works. Because they were going to be full Sith Force ghosts. And they were going to talk to Anakin and tell him hey man, you're going to be the best Sith ever. Just do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's why I really like Dave Filoni, though, is that he is the kind that wouldn't do that, even though he could.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Well, also, I love Dave Filoni, but he does retcon things a lot.
Yeah.
The fact that he just... I haven't read it, and I love the books. I love the fact that, Star Wars does this for people that do care. I just don't really read the books myself. So if Dave Filoni changes something that happens in the books, that doesn't bother me. But I know it does bother a lot of people. He retconned Kanan's story. He retconned some of Ahsoka's story after Clone Wars. And a couple other things. There is a small section of the Star Wars community that hates Dave Filoni because he retcons the books.
But also, like, Ahsoka's his character.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he can retcon whatever he wants if it's his character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I don't know. I mean, I get where you're coming from, though. I mean, I know that there's people get upset about all sorts of things. I mean, I get it.
And they're allowed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, is that you're allowed to be upset over whatever you want. Your Star Wars is your Star Wars. But
Exactly.
So
I'm trying to look this up. It was supposed to be during the Mortis arc, and it essentially, I think they were talking to the sun. If you guys want to keep talking, I will read through and see if I can find more information.
Okay.
the Mortis arc, that's the Force planet, right? With the father and the son and the
Mortis trilogy. Tuck, what Star Wars things do you have going on? Besides inching
like I
through
said,
Rebels?
I'm crawling through Rebels. Let's see what else I've been doing. I mean, really, this podcast has been pretty much the main Star Wars I've been doing. I'll watch like an episode of Mandalorian here and there, record an episode on it, or I don't know, watch trailers and then record an episode. I mean, I just don't really like. I love Star Wars, but it's just whenever I'm doing this like every week, I find myself in my free time, I don't always watch as much Star Wars as I used to. But
yeah.
That's natural, though.
Yeah. You ever have those ideas? Like, sometimes I just think about Star Wars, like different plot points and stuff. And the other day, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't remember my exact thought, but it was something along the lines of, like, why did Palpatine even do the war? Like, why didn't he just take over? And then, like, I knew the answer was in the back of my head, but, like, that initial thought popped up. I was like, why did he even do the war? I was like, that's so stupid. Oh, it's because you guys, I was listening to an episode that you guys were talking about something, and Palpatine came up, and it was maybe whenever you were talking about Cypher Dyas during, I think it was the Plo Koon highlight episode.
Oh, maybe,
Cypher Dyas got
I mean, that's when we were talking about Cypher Dyas,
And,
because Plo Koon's the one that finds him.
Yeah.
Cypher Dyas, I mean, finds the ship, I mean.
Yeah, and I started thinking about Cypher Dyas, and I started thinking about, like, just the plot, and, like, how many times Palpatine almost got caught in Clone Wars, and, like, how he had to, like, find ways to get out of it. And I was thinking, I was like, why did he even start the war? And like I said, I knew it was to, like, create disarray and, like, everything in the galaxy. Then you guys started talking about, like, if Plo Koon was on the temple, and, like, if they had time to organize, like, the Jedi probably wouldn't have fallen.
Or more would have escaped, one of the two. Probably.
And I just started thinking about it more, and I was like, dang, Palpatine was just such a genius. Like, he started the war to spread out all the Jedi in the galaxy. So,
and seize power in the Senate by becoming Supreme Chancellor. Yeah.
And, like, it also was demoralizing the people. Like, a long war affects people mentally.
And financially.
Yeah.
I mean, you just make like life hard for literally everyone.
Yeah, so I just started thinking about the war more, and I was like, where was all this money going? Because he was, like, bankrupting Coruscant, or, like, the good side. You know, he was completely bankrupting them for war. And then, like, you know, the Separatists, or the CIS, if you want to be, like, real technical about it, like, they didn't have a whole lot of money either. Like, where was it all going? Because even whenever he starts the Empire, like, they don't have a ton of money either.
Well, they had the banking clan, the CIS did.
Yeah.
Well, and also that's the other crazy thing is the Republic was also taking loans from the banking clan.
Yeah.
And the banking clan is just a shell corporation for Palpatine. Because he owns the banking clan.
Suspicious.
And then also that's why Anakin is sent to wipe out all of the CIS leaders, including the banking clan guys. Because then Palpatine seizes control of that as well. And so that's where he gets unlimited money at that point.
But not really, though.
Because he owns the bank.
But not really, though. Because they have to go through
at that
and,
point,
like, steal from all these worlds and all these resources and stuff. And, like, even then, the Empire doesn't have a whole lot of money.
Yeah, but also money is all
can oppress.
Money is all credit at that, like in the Star Wars universe, and so like you can get a lot of credit by giving yourself loans through a shell corporation. That's where Palpatine, like, that's what I mean by unlimited money, basically, is because I mean he can just give himself another loan.
Currency too.
Yeah,
I mean, they could just say like, "Oh yeah, we have 10 quintillion credits, by the way."
Yeah, exactly, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, it was just a giant shell game. Like, there was no money anywhere. He just divided the Jedi so they would be spread all across the galaxy so he could take over the temple.
And wipe them
out and brand them. Because if he could kill enough of them, he could brand them as traitors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to say? They're
exactly.
dead.
Dude, I was just thinking about it. And it was just one of those moments where I knew the answer to all of this, but like, I just hadn't thought about it in a while. And I was like, this is crazy.
Well, in the traitor thing, that's why he had to put the inhibitor chips in the clones, because it's a lot harder to make someone look like a traitor if you didn't have their own troops kill them.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a lot easier to convince people that they're traitors. Because, well, why would their men kill them if they weren't traitors?
Right.
And if you're just an average galactic citizen, I mean, you start to believe that pretty quick.
Yeah. And the other aspect I thought about that you guys brought up in that episode was, like, how long did the war wage before it was, like, over?
Yeah, like after Order 66?
Yeah, I had never really thought about that before because, you know, after episode 1 and Anakin blew up the control ship, like, they stopped making it to where the droids were all controlled by a central hub. They were all independent thinking droids, so you couldn't take them out in one blast like Anakin did. So, like, in order to shut down the droids, like, you had to, like, shut down all the mainframes and everything, or whatever.
Right.
So, like, how long did that take before Palpatine gave the order to shut down the droids?
Yeah.
It might have, I mean, it's possible that Anakin on Mustafar was able to, you know, send out that command.
Because he did wipe them all out. I mean, all the CIS high-ups. He killed all of them, so.
But he may not have wanted to shut them all down. Like, we know that Palpatine's plan was built around, you know, genociding any species that could pose a threat. So I could imagine if there were planets that, you know, had, you know, really strong warriors, maybe he let them fight out a little longer.
Yeah, or, you know, this is really dark, but, like, you know, make pretend that there's a planet that's sided with the Separatists, and, like, so you plant a bunch of CIS droids, and then you send the clones in to wipe them out.
Yeah, because that's the new thing with this,
you know,
with this new canon that's not like what we previously knew, where, like, the clones were around for a while before he started, you know, recruiting, and the Empire was made out of just conscription.
Well, and it's still, isn't it a year or more?
Well, I'm thinking more of, like, you know, like with the
picture.
Andor series and stuff, you know, where we've gotten that's not how the story goes anymore, is like the Empire just kind of rose really fast with, like, citizens, and it wasn't really like clones anymore, like we see, which actually this is a great way to pick that up with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, because that's early Empire as well. You have that clone sitting on the street, which I'm not sure if it's been confirmed, but I just saw a thing on TikTok that said it was, so I'm not entirely sure, but apparently that clone was Commander Oppo.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. I knew that would make Elijah upset. That's why I wanted to bring it up. But apparently that was Oppo. But, like, you know, now the news story is that all the clones just kind of got pushed out with, I mean, we see it in Bad Batch, which is the earliest that we have of the Empire right now, where the clones just got pushed out and sent to these facilities, and only, like, a select number of clones were kept to train their new Empire enlistees.
Yeah, well, and that is kind of how the EU goes, though, too. It's just longer. Like, it's just a couple more years. But, like, the clones start an uprising, long story short, and that's how they get
Right.
pushed out and killed mostly.
Well, I think about it.
The clones have to take out Camino in both stories.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about I really wish this would be a cool show if they did it. Even if it was just a super like small series. And whether it was live action or not, it'd still be cool. But if they did the like storyline of the original Battlefront 2, story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, something real gritty, military kind of. Yeah.
Dude, I just want Tamar Morrison to narrate it like he does in the video game.
Mhm.
Like that's the best storyline
that'd
of the
be
clones
awesome.
ever. Like where you pick it up
Mhm.
and he's like every mission is him narrating at the beginning and at the end, and it's like, we took this planet one by one. The screams still haunt me in my sleep, and you're like, oh my god, you're like 10 years old and you're just like playing Star Wars, and then you go back to that game and you play it.
You're not even worried about it.
I play it now as an adult, and you go through the Camino episode, and he's like, we had to go to Camino and take out all these troops that the Kaminoans had been cloning to protect themselves. Do you know what it's?
We had to take out.
Do
our
you know what
brothers.
it's like to kill a man with the same face as you, and his scream sounds just like yours, but you're alive and he's dead?
Holy crap. Yeah, no, honestly, like Battlefront 2, I will stand by as the greatest Star Wars game ever. And that's one of the reasons is like you don't get campaigns like that in like any other Star Wars game.
No, where you have
Yeah.
Tamara Morrison narrating this amazing storyline on this super old game, but like that's still one of my favorite like clone arcs and clone stories ever, is that video game missions.
Yeah, I could literally just listen to the narration part.
Great
Honestly,
storyline.
like I could just pull up the YouTube thing. Yeah,
And he talks about it in that those missions where like he talks about how I'm noticing that there's fewer and fewer of my face around me, and like all that's left of him is Vader's fist, and then soon like that's all there is of the original clones is Vader's fist, because that was the 501st, and then eventually like he's like, and now the Empire's in a good place and I'm the only one left.
Yep.
That hurts.
You're just like, man, this is crazy.
Well, so I wanted to ask you guys, because Seth and I talked about this, the Dave Filoni movie coming out. Have you guys read Heir to the Empire? Like the original Thrawn trilogy?
But I have. I've read the first two of the.
Thrawn's, what is
Yeah.
it, Ascendancy?
And the first one,
Yeah.
super good. The first book of that series was great. The second one was okay. It was just a flashback between Anakin and Vader and Thrawn on this mission.
Yeah.
And it just flashes back and forth to whenever Thrawn and Anakin first met, to where Thrawn and Vader on this ship now. And I think you brought it up, Elijah, or maybe Seth did, where Vader literally pilots a ship with the Force through hyperspace and not using a navicomputer.
Yeah.
That part was pretty cool. That's in the second book. I haven't read the third one yet. The big difference between the first and second one was there's this character that's with Thrawn the whole time from whenever Thrawn first gets introduced. And he's like this cadet in the Empire, and they go through the whole story together, and the kid like picks up rank like once or twice, but he's always Thrawn's aide. Like Thrawn takes him everywhere with him, and it's just Thrawn like going through and picking up more rank, making these incredible missions happen. And the kid just like stays a lieutenant and gets stuck there. But like he comes to appreciate like Thrawn. Like at first he hates him and hates like how he thinks that he's like stalemating his career because Thrawn's an alien in the Empire, and that's not a good thing. And he's a high-ranking alien, so in order for the Empire to like counteract that, they keep this kid like as low as possible. But the kid like builds this like respect and admiration for Thrawn throughout of it in the first book, and then Thrawn sends him away at the end of the first book to go do something. So this kid is like missing the entire second book, and kind of sucks because like their relationship was the cool part, because a lot of the first book is through his viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't there in the second one, so the second one was kind of weird. They also did like this weird Sherlock Holmes thing for Vader and Anakin, where he would like, you guys have seen the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr., right? Where like
yeah,
he
do
he like
things.
analyzes the situation and is able to like premeditate what they're gonna do, and he like narrates it the whole time. Now imagine Darth Vader doing that.
It sounds like it could be cool, but also if not done correctly, it would be very silly.
I mean, it was
yes, 100% down to how it's
it
done.
was cool the first couple times they do it in the book, but they do it a lot in the book. So by like the fifth time that it pops up again, you're like, okay, I get it. Anakin knows how to see things in the future and use that as an ability to fight a bunch of people, or Vader does it too, and you're like, okay, we get it.
Same guy.
Yeah, same guy. We get it. But no, to answer your original question, Elijah, I have not read the original books.
Gotcha. How about you, Tucker?
No.
Or do you know what happens, or
No.
All right,
I
going
know
in blind. I love it.
very loosely who Admiral Thrawn is. But
Nice.
In regard to your earlier point about the movie coming out, I've heard, and what I think there's a good possibility it will be, is almost like a Avengers type meetup between Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Rebels, and like all those projects. And I think that well, and I say Mandalorian, that includes Book of Boba Fett too. You know, and I think that would be awesome. I hope that's what it is.
I think that's already being confirmed.
and
that that's what's happening. Is that, well, at least in the TV shows, like everything's been building to this threat where everybody's going to have to work together. All these people who are not quote unquote heroes are going to be our heroes. Like Boba Fett, Fennec Shan, Mandalorian, Bo-Katan. And that's like why in Mandalorian it was so important that we get that progression that the Mandalorians are going to come back and they're going to band together and they're going to actually rise up, because there is this great evil coming. And that's why he planted that seed with whenever Ahsoka showed up and she was looking for Thrawn, was so we could get the Ahsoka show.
Right. And
Thrawn's going to come back and we're going to get this like really great evil again. And that's why it was so important to have the Dr. Pershing episodes in Mando as well.
Yeah.
So we can see that the galaxy is growing this big darkness and someone's going to have to stand up to it. And it's going to be all these people that you would never think can do that. But yeah, they're all going to join up in a very like large way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the movie's going to be freaking sweet, is all I'm saying.
I'm hoping we get a couple movies, preferably. I just feel like it's a lot for that amount of time. Or I'm, like I talked about with Seth, I don't want necessarily the Ahsoka series to just be a setup series, but you know, hopefully they can get a lot of that setup done there, and that way the movie can just like happen.
Do you know when it's like even scheduled to come out? Is there even a date yet?
No, my guess is, so it was announced this year, so I would say 2025, 2026 maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the last season of like Mandalorian or Boba Fett or whatever they do is gonna be like introducing the first part of that movie. Like this thing's gonna happen, like somehow all these people are gonna come together, like
and the show
then the show will end and it'll be like, all right, TV's done, back to movies. Which I'm gonna be really sad if they do that, because and I'm glad that Seth said it on the episode that we just posted the other day
about Star Wars being better television.
And I think we've said it before on the show, is that for whatever reason, the past couple of years, Star Wars to me is just like, Star Wars is TV now. Like it was movies for the longest time. And I mean, they're always going to be great movies, but after everything that happened with the last trilogy, you know, I'm just glad Star Wars went to TV, because it's a lot better, and I don't know if I want to go back to movies.
Yeah, I'm really glad Star Wars didn't die.
Me too.
I'm really glad, because honestly, I was kind of scared that it would, but
Yeah.
we
same.
continue. And honestly, I think I'm thankful, honestly, for the sequels like doing poorly, because it set up
Everything
what
we're
I
getting
think
now.
is
Yeah.
the golden age for Star Wars. Honestly, I mean, I think I dare say that right now is the best time ever to be a Star Wars fan, and that even includes like when the original trilogy came out. I think right now is a better place to be, even because there's more stuff and it's a deeper storyline, and I consider this the golden
I
age.
agree 100%
Yeah,
because
I agree.
like being there whenever the original trilogy came out, I'm sure it was really cool, but that's all you had was those
For years between
three movies
Yeah.
for years. And we're in one of those situations now where like, yeah, the market's super saturated with Star Wars stuff, but it's all quality Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like,
for sure.
okay, you can have 500% more Star Wars, but it's not going to be that great, but here's 500% more. Like we're in a time where,
And it's mostly bangers.
yeah, we're in a time where it's
Like,
500% more, and it's all good stuff, and it's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You got Visions now, you have Mando, Boba Fett, Andor, the new Ahsoka series coming out. Like there's a lot out there right now, and it's for everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, if you think about it too, one cool thing that I never thought we would get is we actually almost have like a Star Wars season on TV for like stuff coming out. Typically it's from March to August is like when all the new stuff comes out. And I love that, like, I mean, we're like sports fans. We get excited for Star Wars season. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mac, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I've been talking for forever. Is there anything you guys want to talk about?
Oh, sorry. I did look it up. You were right. It was Darth Revan and Darth Bane. And it was supposed to take place right after the son kills the daughter.
Oh. Man, that would have been...
There's your sad fact for the day.
That would have been powerful, though.
And
Wow.
so
That would
it
have been a
looked
cool
like...
symbol.
So Dave Filoni fought against it because it would insinuate that they could become Force ghosts. But I don't know. I think they could have framed it as a way of, like, the son is literally the dark side and is, like, not that they were pulling themselves out of the Force, but more so he was pulling them out of the Force.
That he was, like, conjuring them.
And, I mean, he... Yeah. Well, and then also he could have an object that they haunt. I mean, we know that Sith ghosts exist. They have to be attached to an object, though. But, like, maybe he has one. I mean, he is the dark side after all.
And even then, in that episode where Yoda wakes up,
Bane.
was it Bane?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yoda tells him, you're not real and you're not a part of the Force. You're just an empty shell attached to something.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that was a real Force ghost. I think it was a vision that the Wills showed him.
Yeah. But, I mean, we do know with... with other Sith, I mean, there are. My point is that there are Sith ghosts of a type, but pretty much they're just residual energy. That's
the only other one I can think of besides the Darth Bane thing was in a Darth Vader comic, and it takes place wherever he's building his castle on Mustafar, and the reason why he builds the castle the way he does is the Emperor gives Darth Vader this helmet that was worn by this really old Sith, and like he put his soul into it, and Palpatine knew that. It was also a test for Vader to see if he could defeat the guy. So whenever you put the helmet on, you're now possessed by this Sith.
Oh, yeah, I do. Elijah, do you remember that guy's name? He was in our top 5 Sith. He was my number 2, specifically.
Yes, I will look it up.
He invented the double-bladed lightsaber. Gosh, that's gonna bother me. I actually really like the guy.
But yeah, so Vader gives the helmet to like somebody, and they put it on, and now this guy's like instructing Vader, like, you need to build the castle this way because then you can use all the energy that's on this planet and all like the Force and stuff, and be able to bring Padme back.
Exar Kun?
Exar Kun, yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Is that who it is, Mac?
Elijah, just Google
Oh.
any of the random things I've been saying in the past 10 minutes and see if you can find it.
Will do.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I'm pretty sure it is Exar Kun. Also based on like what he's saying, as far as Palpatine wanting that to be a test, because Exar Kun was supposed to be the most like powerful Sith ever. And then also,
I think in the comic, like he had tried to do this before, and he succeeded. It's basically a super weapon, but he's trying to trick Vader and everything. Like he's trying to build a super weapon again because he built one during like the olden days and somehow got defeated, and that's how he got killed. Was like his super weapon blew up on him. Surprise, surprise. We haven't seen that trope before, but
yeah.
and then this like helmet survives somehow, and that's how Palpatine gets it.
Is it Sith Lord Darth Mammon?
That sounds.
I think that's
sounds
correct.
right.
Yeah, Darth Sidious took the mask for himself before he gave it to his Sith apprentice Darth Vader.
Interesting.
Also, I just watched a quote. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I just watched an interview with George Lucas saying that Vader would have been infinitely more powerful if he wasn't cyborged.
Yeah.
If he wasn't burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's for sure.
If he didn't smell like hot
I
dog.
don't know. He didn't smell like hot dog. I just know it's been kind of debated in the community on the legitimacy of that quote, and I literally just found it randomly last night. And I can confirm it is real. It is out there.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, like we said in I think the Plo Koon episode, like there's a bunch of Jedi that if they survived, the Jedi wouldn't have fallen. Anakin's certainly one of them. I mean, I really think he would have killed Palpatine, like,
Oh, for sure.
eventually. It may have taken him a while, because Palpatine's pretty powerful, but I think he would have done it eventually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Tucker, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Can't think of anything.
Well, great. Yarael Poof is the greatest Jedi of all time. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this podcast.
Wait. He's here in the ship. Yarael. Yo. Hey, come here, dude. Real quick. Come talk to us.
Oh God, he's got his extra hands out.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
Why'd you hide the fact that you had extra hands from us?
Because I'm eating Cheetos.
You son of a gun.
I stuck
Had
them on the ship.
Cheetos. You had Cheetos this whole time.
Yeah. And when we ran out of food, that's why I didn't tell you.
I hate you both.
I think we should
I'm
kill and
Yarael
eat
Poof.
Yarael Poof.
No, don't do that.
Why does Yarael sound kind of like Yoda?
Death to
And I'm
Yarael.
certainly not Yoda. I'm better. I'm different.
I'm better. I'm different. I got more arms.
I got more arms than him.
Tall. Yoda's a short boy. Yoda can fit in his ship.
Women like the taller fellas.
Oh,
Alright, this is getting silly.
Anyway,
This is getting
thank
silly.
you guys so much for listening. If you want to be a part of this conversation, you can email us at animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that is animalsquadron@gmail.com. We're getting desperate. We will pay you. I'm kidding. Or maybe not. Find out. Also, if you can review us wherever you're listening to this, that'd be great. And we didn't really have a set topic for today. What should we ask them on Spotify?
How much do you love Yarael Poof?
How
On a scale
much
of 1
do
to
you
10.
love
How much do you
Yarael
love
Poof?
Yarael?
Give us. I'm expecting a 10-page essay on my desk by tomorrow morning.
About our boy.
Anyway, thank you again for listening. For the Animal Squadron, this has been Mother Goose.
And Lowtech Tuck.
And me, for the last time for a while.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, friends.
Adios.